The girl falls for her mom's first love, and she takes one look at the other and is captivated by his handsome face. Even though the man is 30 years older than her, her heart races and she has trouble breathing when the man's eyes look over. Her friend could see that she was interested in him, so she warned him that he was a womanizer and changed women faster than he changed his clothes. But despite this, the girl was still hopelessly in love with the man. At this time, the man came over. The girl actually realized that excited speech. The man saw this situation will laugh and joked.
Do you speak?
Those present were immediately amused, while the girl finally relaxed. Between the two of them looking at each other, a subtle feeling suddenly spread in each other's hearts. Nana wanted to chat with Charlie for a while longer, but Charlie said he still had some things to do, and then left the place. Looking at Charlie's back, Nana's heart was filled with loss. But the next day she received a phone call from Charlie, and was immediately happy to fly. Then she forced herself to hold back her inner excitement, and asked Charlie what was the matter. Unexpectedly, Charlie said that he was going to attend a dance tonight, and hoped that she would help design a hat for his female partner. Nona was instantly down after hearing this, but managed to keep her emotions in check and asked Charlie what he wanted for the hat. Charlie stated that she didn't know anything about such things and asked her to just design one to her liking. Waiting to hang up the phone, Nona's mood is still very happy, although it has been affected a little. After making the hat, Nona rushed to Charlie's house at the first opportunity. Who knew that Charlie actually asked her to wear the hat? Although she did not understand what Charlie meant, she still obeyed and did as she was told, and then looked at Charlie slightly shyly. Charlie slowly walked up to her and gently tweaked the hat with his hand. Nona smiled at this and asked Charlie if it looked good. Unexpectedly, Charlie shook his head with some regret. Nona hurriedly asked where it is not good. I did not expect. Charlie said that just now the female partner called to say that infected with wind chill, no way to accompany him to the ball. So there is no fate to wear such a good-looking hat. Then some embarrassed asked Nona, willing to be his partner? Nona immediately laughed out. At this time she only slowed down. The original there is no such thing as a female partner. The reason why she let her design the hat according to their own preferences is ready to invite her to go to the ball together. At this moment Nona was so happy that she agreed to Charlie's invitation without even thinking about it. She changed into the dress Charlie had prepared for her, and then together they arrived at the ball. They danced on the dance floor to beautiful music. Although there is a difference of 30 years between them, Charlie's humor and maturity attracted Nona. Nona's smile also fascinates Charlie. They talk to each other and speak freely. The way they look at each other is full of sparks of love. After the dance, Charlie was ready to send Nona home. But walking in the park, the atmosphere between the two is getting more and more ambiguous.
What should we do, Will? With this moment that we're in.
And that's how the two spent a wonderful evening. Nona thought this would be the beginning of a beautiful love between the two, but she didn't expect Charlie to flip out.
This isn't right.
Charlie said there's too much of an age difference. Maybe 10 years later you are still beautiful, but I will be full of wrinkles, old. Then Charlie also shamelessly said, I should have made it clear earlier, but because I really like you too much, so I couldn't hold it for a moment and did something I shouldn't have done. However, the next second Nona's words directly made Charlie dumbfounded.
I'm sick.
What do you mean?
It's my heart. Nobody even thought I'd last this long. I could have put off telling you, but I genuinely like you.
After learning that Nona was terminally ill, Charlie's heart was instantly messed up. Originally, he had planned to get away from Nona as he had done before, and then start his next love affair. Because he has always believed in the idea of not giving up the whole forest for a tree. But now he really didn't know whether to leave Nona or not. His friend told him that no matter what choice he made, he had to remember one thing, and that was not to hurt Nona. After much deliberation, Charlie decided to stay with Nona. He bought a bouquet of flowers and came to Nona's house. As soon as she saw him, a smile instantly bloomed on Nona's face. She knew that Charlie hadn't left her, most likely because of her illness, but she didn't care, because she liked Charlie, and he liked Charlie to the bone. So even though Charlie might not like her that much, as long as Charlie was by her side, then she was content. They went to the park and strolled in the middle of a maple forest. Nona was very happy at this time, and kept chatting with Charlie about the interesting things she had encountered. Charlie, however, looked worried, obviously still thinking about Nona's condition. At this moment, Nona suddenly took off Charlie's watch.
What are you doing?
I'm keeping it.
This is my watch.
Yep.
When do I get it back?
When you forget that I have it.
After returning from the park, they go to Charlie's restaurant. Then they cooked together and shared the food with the employees of the store together. Looking at Nona, who was there talking and laughing with the employees, Charlie's heart felt more favorable towards this optimistic and cheerful girl in front of him. In the evening they chose to walk home, and the two of them talked and laughed along the way. They chatted from life to work, and from work to their respective views on love. However, just as the two were immersed in the joy of love, Nona suddenly had an attack. Charlie rushed Nona to the hospital and learned from the doctor that Nona had at most 1 year to live. For some reason, Charlie felt a little hard to accept, and looking at his expression, Nona pretended to be relaxed and told him jokes. However, Charlie was silent. Maybe he was in love with Nona. Maybe he wanted to leave a good memory for Nona. After this day, Charlie stayed by Nona's side every day. He contracted the task of cooking for Nona, just to let Nona enjoy all kinds of food. He would also dress up as a pet and accompany Nona to parties just to make Nona happy. This made Nona feel incredibly happy. However, on this day, she happened to see Charlie and a woman coming down from the attic, and Nona was devastated. Although her love for Charlie was deep in her bones, she couldn't accept such behavior from Charlie. But Charlie thinks it's nothing, because he and the woman had no feelings. The two are just play. Each one, there is no need to be on the line. In the end, the two did not happy parted. After leaving Nona, Charlie thought he would be living a happy life as before. However, the reality is that every day is like a year. All he can think about is Nona's figure. Only then did he realize that he had fallen hopelessly in love with Nona. On the other hand, Nona's heart is also in pain. She loved Charlie, even though he hurt her. She still loved him. Even she loved him more than herself. Until the day she came home and found Charlie curled up in a chair. Seeing her return, Charlie sincerely apologized to her, hoping that she could forgive herself.
You betrayed me! You didn't touch me! Get away from me! Get out of here! Just go! You're not good enough.
I know, I know I'm not. I just... Can you let me love you? Please. 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 Please let me try again.
Maybe feel Charlie's sincerity, maybe really love Charlie too much. Nona finally chose to forgive Charlie, so the two live happily together again. But sometimes fate is like a joke. In the process of escaping, Nona once again fell to the ground sick. Charlie Emergency sent her to the hospital, but after the rescue out of danger, Charlie was relieved. However, the doctor told her that Nona only had a few weeks left.
Weeks?
I'm sorry.
You said she had a year.
No, I said a year at best.
That's not good enough. You said a year. You said, I want to have a year.
Inappropriate.
At this point, Charlie realizes that he is a bit excited and rushes after the doctor to express his apologies. Then he asked the doctor after him if there was any way to save Mona, and the doctor told him that if he could find a top surgeon to operate on Mona, there might still be a chance of survival. Looking at Nona on the hospital bed, Charlie's heart seized up, and he vowed to cure Nona's disease. The first time he came out of the hospital, he kept making phone calls to nationally recognized surgeons. But when he learned of Nona's condition, no one dared to operate on Nona. Just when he was in despair, a friend put him in touch with a top surgeon. Charlie was overjoyed. But when Nona found out about it, she was furious with him.
I don't want to give people hope when there isn't any.
Why not? Maybe we need hope. Now maybe I need to know that I've done everything that I could do. If I'm gonna...
Nona knew that Charlie didn't want her to die like that, and why would she actually want to leave this world? She loves Charlie, she wants to be by his side all the time, and hopes to live happily ever after with him. In the end, for the sake of Charlie, but also for their own sake, Nona chose to accept the operation. On Christmas Day, Charlie specially decorated the house, ready to give Nona a surprise. But when he turned around, he found Nona collapsed on the floor. He completely panicked, and then immediately brought Nona to the hospital to prepare for surgery. Before the operation, he leaned his head tightly on Nona's head.
Time. I cannot break the bird's wing from the bird. Bird and wing together. Go down one feather. No thing that ever flew. Not the lark. Not you. Can die as others do.
What have I done to you?
You ruined me for other women.
I saved you for them.
That's when the doctor walked in and wheeled Nona off to the operating room. Charlie reached out and grabbed Nona, while Nona shook Charlie's hand to reassure Charlie. Everyone outside the operating room waited anxiously as they kept praying in their hearts for a miracle. I don't know how long it took, but the doctor finally came out. The miracle had not happened after all. The cold winter was dead silent, and the bone-chilling cool wind seemed to penetrate everyone's body. Charlie returned home disoriented and found the Christmas gift Nona had prepared for him. He slowly opened the box, which contained his watch. At this moment, he could no longer control his emotions, breaking down and crying. Once he would never give up the whole forest for a woman. But after that, his heart will only ever belong to one woman.